Hello everybody, welcome to webinar number 3 for our fall sessions. PlayBox Neo, we showing all new products, showing tips and tricks using existing products, how to get the best out of your existing system, how to get the benefits of all the new updates, upgrades and refinements we make to the system. This is the second bunch of webinars. We did a number of them in May, June. So if you're interested in any of the topics, please check. All the videos are on our YouTube channel. You can check the previous 2 webinars from this fall session where we announced Capture Suite, PlayBox Neo new product, which we're going to talk about today, and how it relates to the new AirBox Neo-20, which is a new version that takes advantage of this whole new infrastructure. I will go through my presentation and then I will open the floor for questions and answers because it's very hard to do the presentation and follow the chat. My colleagues are standing by. They can also answer your questions. If you have any questions outside of this webinar after we finish, please contact your local sales representative and our tech personnel, and they will be able to help you right away. All right, so let me share my desktop and we can begin. First, we're going to talk about the AirBox Neo-20 and how it implies the new functionality and the infrastructure of Capture Suite into the channel-in-a-box workflow, right? So the easiest thing that we showed previously is that Capture Suite interface is a simple web page, so it's accessible on the machine where I am right now, or from any other web device on the same network. You can take a look, you can control all the features and all the settings and so on. So I will just minimize this one. I'll open my instance number 1 of AirBox. So when you create instance of AirBox, immediately it creates this AirBox output 1, which is virtual input output to the system. Server sees it right away, and you can see it here in this multi-viewer. The system allows me to manage all the inputs, all the outputs that are available to this particular server. So I have one output defined here, but I'll delete it in order to show you how it's configured, and you will see it on the screen behind me right now. The signal got lost because I deleted the video output, which actually you can see that my virtual output still is active on the system. So I have to assign physical interface to it right now in order to see it. So we can do this 2 ways, either from the interface that you know from AirBox, where you just put the new Neo output, and in order to set it up, you're presented with dialog which is very similar to the one here. And if you want to, let me just go to the inputs, so you to the output, sorry, because I'm going to be defining a new output, right, for my AirBox. So in order, you will see whatever I do here, it also reflects on this screen on this side. So I will say I have a Blackmagic design card. I'm going to call it main TV because this is the TV behind me on the wall. I'll select the Declic Extreme card, port number 1. Again, I'll go over all the settings that you can do on the input and outputs. I'll select the proper format, 1080i50, and you can select all these other settings. You can also select one important setting: when there is no signal, what to see. And I can say freeze the last frame that you've been seeing, or black or bars, but I'll select to have a last frame. So even if when my signal is off, it will still have a picture there. So right now I created this, but look, still there is no picture behind me. This is because I just defined an output device, but I have to patch the signal to it. So cross point, this feature is called cross point, so I can select to AirBox output 1 to go to this output. And voila, you can see it right behind me on the screen. Right now I have this instance going, and you've seen how I did the settings in AirBox, but everything reflected right here onto the web interface of Capture Suite. So in the same fashion, I can go and define number of inputs. I have second instance of AirBox, which is here, which just loops files, and I will use this as my source machine. And I have a couple more inputs defined here. So this is the virtual output of this preview of second instance of AirBox. You can see it again on your multi-viewer. And I have defined a couple of NDI sources from the network, give them names, and then you can just use them, as sources in your system. So let me go into my multi-viewer. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna enable this additional input. So you can see this is my AirBox 1, AirBox 2. These are my two sources that I see from the network. So right now, I would like to go and do a couple of live inputs to my system. And let's say here in, let me just take off this from Bloom. So let's say I have a one live event here in my playlist. I will go select the editor. As you can see, I have 3 live sources defined. So live 1, I have to select a source for this one. As you can see, I have all these virtual sources, but you know what? I want to use the output of AirBox 2. So let's go to our AirBox 2 for a second and define physical output. I will use one card to do a physical output and physical input SDI onto the machine just to make better illustration. So right now, you see this is the main output that I created. You see all the inputs and outputs defined because right now this infrastructure gives you the system-wide application, and you can see this is assigned to first instance. And I can do it either from this interface, or again, I can go and do it straight from my web interface. So I will define another output, which is a Blackmagic design, which I'll call AirBox 2. The board will be Decklink Duo, and I'll use port number 4. I can go and set again the proper format. When there is no signal, again, freeze last frame. I'll select this and create it. Again, AirBox 2 is created. All I have to do is patch it to the AirBox output. Perfect. So now I can go and create another input. As I tried here before, I have defined in the playlist live source 1. I want to make a definition. You see here, I have nothing selected. So I have to define an endpoint, SDI endpoint, which I will do right now, which will be, let's call it Studio in. This is going to be from my second instance, SDI, to my first instance. Which board? The Extreme card, port number 1. This is only 1 in, 1 out card. The aspect ratio and everything is all set. So I have a defined interface, studio in, right? So going again here, I can easily select this studio in as my source. You see everything is automatically set based on whatever the format of the signal is. That's fine. So now if I go and jump into this live, I see what's happening on my AirBox 2. I have the other two sources that I show you, which are NDI sources from my network, set as live 2 and live 3. So one thing that you can notice, because of this new infrastructure, it's completely redesigned from the ground up. We can absolutely gain so much speed and performance. As you can see right now, I can go and switch so quickly between live sources. I can use it as a production switcher. For example, here I have shortcuts for jump to the 3 live sources. 1, jump to the second one. Just look here. This is the output, my main output. I'll close the AirBox 2 because I don't wanna look at it right now. This is my main AirBox, and if I go here onto the multi-viewer, look, I have choice right now to see the output of AirBox 1, output of AirBox 2, my sources, and this is the live input, the video card, which is mirroring obviously AirBox 2. Again, if I don't want to get distracted with so many sources, I can say, you know what, I don't want to see the output of AirBox 2. All I want to see is my 2 network sources in the studio in the live into the first instance of AirBox, and that's it. So right now I'm on live 3. As you can see, this is what's on my main outputs, like on air. So I can just go and do quick jumps. You can see, jump to second, jump here. Let me just copy and paste one file here. Hold on. All right, so I can keep jumping between my main input from the second machine, my second source, my third source. Makes it very convenient. As you can see, the speed is incredible. It's a couple of frames between the jumps. Previous users of the system remember, in terms of just to have a stable switching and so on, it needed a preparation time. Now this is down to a couple of frames, which makes it almost like a production live switcher. You can use it. Because longevity is one of the main goals in our R&D, efforts. For example, all the systems going, with the Intel processors that support AVX2, they can be easily updated to this new version, and depends on your needs encoding wise, because we did a lot of improvements in NVIDIA GPU encoding, so you need a proper NVIDIA graphics card to offload the encoding test to the graphics processor versus the main CPU. You can get great performance on your hardware going a couple years back. So just make sure talk to our technical guys. They will assess your system and give you the best advice. With the minimal investment in, let's say, graphics card improvement, you can get all this new functionality, all this speed, performance, stability. I mean, the fact that you can do so many encodings, because right now everybody's streaming, their facilities with no SDI infrastructure whatsoever. With this system, you can easily do, multiple streams from a single machine, do multiple targets with YouTube, Facebook, different platforms, or SRT protocol is supported now. which we demonstrated in our previous session. So go take a look at the video, and if you have questions, hit us back. Maybe we'll do another webinar based on that if you're interested. So you get so many new features specifically in the streaming flexible routing thing. Why we're so excited about this new capture suite infrastructure? This gives completely new ways of dealing with physical input outputs and transcoding and creating different type of signals based on what you need. For example, right now I have in my outputs, let's say this video card, which is my main output, but I can add another, let's say, NDI output, select one encoder and say main NDI, and just, I'm not gonna, I'll go for NTSC standard definition. My playout is high definition, but I'm gonna do standard definition just to make it simple. So I have this defined right now. All I have to do is just select, okay, patch my AirBox 1, and that's it. I'm broadcasting another format, which is I'm having a I-50 playout, but this is broadcasting NTSC 29 frames, standard resolution NDI stream in my network, and I can use it for whatever I need to use it. So you see how flexible this system acts as a multiple outputs, multiple inputs. You can do format conversion, transcoding basically, because it's one medium to another. I can delete this one because I don't need this encoder right now, let's say. Also, we mentioned this before, you have your ingest, so I can go and immediately select this particular source for ingest, schedule ingest, or use another video input to do an ingest. Very flexible. Auto split functionalities, primary and secondary settings for your ingest formats. Let's say you want your primary to be ProRes because you're gonna give it to your editor guys to do Final Cut or Premiere video editing, but you want to have another format that is used for, let's say, your media asset management system needs it for, mezzanine format for the web views and so on. So this all can be done in one pass. You can do auto split of the files to whatever length desired, markers and all of this. We covered this in our previous session, so I'm just mentioning it right now. So you have, in this situation where I'm on a single machine, I'm receiving multiple inputs, physical from a SDI card, NDI streaming from a network machine here. I can see my multiple instances in my multi-viewer. I can decide what am I seeing in my multi-viewer, and for example, I can have like, okay, I'm waiting something on these live inputs, and I can label them in a way that makes sense to me, so it's easy to do the, let me just shrink it a little bit, so I can take a look and just wait until, let's say, something happens in this this live input source, and just switch right when I need it. Boom, done. You can see it right away. If the game is over, I can just go back to my program from here, or go to my other source, which is the second instance studio in which I labeled. Very simple, very quick, very flexible. You can always add more and route inputs and outputs based on what you need. Just use them temporary, then delete them, use something else. All depends on whatever your machine can handle as number of resources, right? So this is the kind of the biggest improvement and biggest thing in this new version, AirBox Neo-20. The tons of small things are improvements in performance, in stability, and so on, which just, we keep on constantly fixing and improving and adding things. But looking into this platform, streaming also will run through the same system, and you can do all of this very conveniently. Again, streaming SDI, or you can use this capture suite as a standalone format converter. Let's say SDI input from somewhere in your studio to UDP output, and vice versa. Or you're receiving a UDP stream, but you want to convert it to SDI on the fly, just to plug into your production switcher in the studio, ready to go. This way, you can set up a separate server with capture suite and just act as a input-output patching hub. You know, all the encoding tasks will be offloaded there, so your main machine can perform as it performs right now with minimum changes. Let's say you change it to NDI, send to the new server with capture suite, and then it takes care of converting the signal to multiple destinations. NDI, SDI currently supported. Streaming is coming very soon. So please talk to your local reps, talk to our tech guys, and see how this is going to benefit your current workflow, and take advantage of all these improvements and this flexibility, because this is kind of the base, the foundation that all new versions of PlayBox Neo software will step on. Very, very flexible, very convenient to work, and gives you a lot of options. So I would like to open the floor for questions and answers right now. Don't be shy. Hit me with your questions. My colleagues are also standing by. They will help with answering also your questions. And we'll be very happy to keep on this conversation. You all know, due to these restrictions of not being able to see each other at trade shows, this is kind of the next best thing that we can do. So we're very appreciative of your time and the fact that you visiting our webinars, and we keep on the conversation going on. We always try to keep you informed with what's new, what's the latest, give you training sessions, sort of how to get the most out of your system, how to adapt your system into the new demands of, let's say, now more and more becomes an IP world with cloud solutions. As you know, Cloud to TV is another platform. We have that you can use this capture suite to ingest in one location, and then just via the shared storage, it can be uploaded to the cloud, and then your programming guys can just pick it up from the cloud service as a media and just schedule it for broadcast to another location. So that's another very, very, very cool feature. We've covered this part of operations with the Cloud to TV, but we'll keep on showing more with exactly this workflow with capture suite. But this is why we kind of going over this, because this is the new foundation of the whole PlayBox Neo platform that will give you this great functionality and great flexibility. All right, so being sent to multi-viewer. All right, so the pictures that are being sent to the multi-viewer, these are special visualizations from the NDI streams, and yeah, the server extracts this point of NDI streams into its engine and then just makes a visualization. As you can see there, let me see how I can, the latency is extremely small between the systems. Secondary events. I mean, we have secondary events. What kind of secondary events you're referring to? We currently can do a lot of things like, you know, events to control GPIs, extract signaling from SCT35 or 104 for commercial insertion, control external switches, control, you know, tons of stuff through secondary events. Vladimir, please clear out what you mean, secondary events. All right. Again, since we're talking about now in the context of channel in a box, of course, so you can have obviously a title box on the top of that. I'm not going to do big demo of that because we did a separate demo of title box, but you can of course run it here, control it with graphic rules, control it with secondary events. Of course, you can do Vladimir, this through the graphic rules. For example, if I go and create a graphic rule, if let's say a clip from category news, for example, from category, let me just find something that is. Yeah, if the category is whatever the clip category you decide, let's say news or music, let's say you have a music television, you want 15 seconds from the beginning of the song to show up the lower third and, you know, to show the name of the artist and the song. So this is how it works. If the category is whatever clip, in this case it's called clip, I can change it and which parameter I'm looking for, but let's say category, everything that's called music clip. Clip start with offset of, this is 5 seconds set here. It will execute command load template in title box, start playing the template and use the text from the clip title and from the clip star, which is the artist name, will be extracted and shown as artist and song name right away. Okay, so you can do this through custom scripts or something like that. You can put before the clip and it will execute something with the proper offset of time for the title box command. This is graphic rules that apply based on, you see, based on category or some other parameter that you can describe it as automation. If you want to use completely custom, you can do a same type of command, start project with this offset and put commands in the playlist. Okay, Nikki Eo, this version that I'm demonstrating is brand new. It's just being released, so you have to call your, you have to have a valid software support contract in order to update seamlessly, or talk to your sales rep if you, I don't know what state is your software as a version currently, but they will consult you and tell you how to update the system, you know, right away. Check your hardware. As I mentioned, there's a minimum requirements for all these new features and improvements to be able to, you know, to be taken advantage of. You need certain hardware requirements, but if it's fairly new machine, should be no problem. Or if you want to add streaming. So please contact our support guys, and they can do assessment exactly on your system, because it's very hard for me to do it over chat. Or your local sales rep, they'll put you in contact, and in no time you'll be you'll be taken care of. Yes, email to our guys. You'll get right away the put your dongle number so we know exactly what system you have and give you the proper answer. Because right now it's very hard, based on the limited information, to give proper advice, obviously. All right. Also, guys, please write to us what topics you would like to hear more in future webinars, so we make sure we cover these things. Whatever is interesting, like let's say somebody was talking about the secondary events and things like that with the graphics, so we can do something specifically for that to show these workflows, to make sure that you can, take care of exactly what you need, or just do one-on-one session with our support. They will give you, all the necessary information, how to do it, do this stuff, so you get the best out of the system. Because you see, a lot of these features, the system has, PlayBox Neo has been around for 20 years as a software, so a lot of features are being put into the system. Hello, Harm. SRT has been working since May. We demonstrated SRT as an output, and it works in all of the versions: listener, caller, rendezvous, encrypted traffic, and we did a full demo on that. Please go to our YouTube channel, as I said, and we have a specific webinar set for the SRT feature, and it's released so you can take advantage again, get the update. Again, I don't know what version you're running right now. Just talk to our support. Write to support@playboxneo.com with your dongle number, and you immediately will get the answers. So, no, SRT has been working. It's been working perfectly fine since May. I did a big demo with inputs and outputs. Currently in the new infrastructure, output is set, input is coming literally in a matter of weeks. So depends what workflow you want. You can do either of these things. So SRT, RTMP, sending to multiple destinations, YouTubes and Facebooks and stuff like this. Please check the videos from the previous set of webinars in May and June. We did extensive on how to use PlayBox Neo products in all these video broadcasting over YouTube, social media channels. Basically, that was the big topic. Again, every time you're in doubt and you don't find the information right away, we try, our website to be as clean and as simple to get the information possible. But sometimes, you can't find it right away. Please talk to our sales reps or talk to our support guys. Most of the times, 99% of the time, 0.9, what you think of, it's already been there in one shape and form, and you can easily implement this feature to your workflow. We can give you the advice, because obviously we've seen so many cases that different workflow scenarios need to be resolved every day, and this can be just matter one phone call away or one email away to get resolved for you. Again, the performance speed is very good in this new version. I'm very happy to be clicking over live inputs like a live switcher, or jumping to clips, makes it very, very, very fun to use, and really very practical when you have a lot of sport events or live sources coming in. You want to simply jump and then go back to another one, switch to clips, go back to another one. It's really good. Where can you get a simple demo about how to use the clip streamer? Okay, as you can see, you double click on the file. The best way, if you have a specific question, is just email it again and set up a session with our support guys. But the simplest thing I can show you right now is just open the clip trimmer. You can just select in, out points, select different zones. You can split it in a couple of zones, you know, and like I can split the clip here. I can split the clip here. So now I can have multiple zones and then use this as different parts. Let's say split a movie, do the commercial blocks inside. But again, we did a little touch base on that portion in our previous videos. Again, check the videos from AirBox Channel in a Box workflow in our May-June sessions there on our YouTube channels, where we're showing using these type of things, how to split the files in cloud to TV platform, which is very simple to what you can do here in terms of splitting, creating multiple splits from one file and then using it as, you know, without physically splitting the file, just logical splits, and you can see them in the timeline and in your playlist, and just do different things, insert commercials in between them and so on. All right. Okay. Again, if there's more questions after we finish this this webinar, please just send us an email. We'd love to hear from you. If there's no more questions right now, I want to wish you a wonderful day, and I hope to see you in our next webinar. Let me just stop for a second on my sharing. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you at our next webinar. Thank you very much for participating.